Hello, everybody. Greetings, Street Dance family and Earth family. And in the words of the late, great Fred Berry, hey, hey, hey. We have a wonderful guest today. Those of you who don't know, you're getting ready to know his name is Greg Coco Della. Everybody want to say, yay, round of applause. That's where the audience comes in. And introducing to you, everybody, this is that great OG from back today, and he's done movies. He's been on tour, and now he's currently judging competitions and contests. We want to welcome Greg Coco Della. Thank you very much for being here, brother. It's good to see you.
Oh, thanks for that introduction. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to see your face, bro. All right. Well, we want to start right off and jump right in with you. Tell us a little bit about. I want to go back to your childhood, where you first realized that you dancing was passion. How old were you, and who were your influences?
Okay, so it all started when I was in high school. I was a sophomore, and one fateful day when my life would change forever. I would just leaving my gym class and going to my last class, and I was walking down by the gym, and I hear this music, and I see this guy some weird body contortions, what I know now to be a body weight. And I was so mesmerized by what I saw. I just kind of sat there for a few minutes before I went to my class and just watched him. And I said to myself, that must be some new dance or something. And then when I went home that day, I was trying to, imitate what I saw, not having any idea or any technique. But I learned then, because the following year I met somebody else that was a street style called popping. And that day changed my life forever.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Now, who were your influences? I'm going to say musically and dance at that time.
I would have to say, like most people, is Michael Jackson, of course. Michael Jackson, Prince. But then I like, Parliament, Funkadelic,
Yeah,
Cameo, Prince. Kind of artists were kind of the from the music side. From the dance side, I got a chance to see the Electric Boogaloo Lockers on Soul Train. The Lockers were on Soul Train quite a bit. And then a guy, we all know is Boogaloo Shrimp. Obviously, I've known him for a long time, so he was one of my big influences. But also a guy that was in high school that actually took me under his wing when I first started, which is a
yes,
guy. So he really kind of got me into the dance community when I growing up, and the rest of the history.
uh-huh, uh-huh. Beautiful. And how did it feel to actually meet him first?
Well, I mean, when I was you're talking about Boogaloo Shrimp, or
Yes, Boogaloo Shrimp.
well, we had a mutual friend. I met a guy I was at Knott's Berry Farm actually, and they used to have like this little nightclub there at Cloud Nine there at Knott's Berry Farm, and then I saw this. He's a Filipino guy, and he was wearing this sweatshirt with this old English writing, and it said L.A. Fancy. And I was like, wow, they must be obviously from L.A. So anyway, when I got a chance to meet him and talk to him, he said that he was in Boogaloo Shrimp's crew, and is a guy named Charlie Beltran. They call him B. So he's like, maybe one day I'll bring Shrimp to your house and we'll practice. And I'm like, what? So it turned out it was like just maybe a few months later, because Shrimp was touring at the time with Lionel Richie on the All Night Long tour.
Right?
So, but then after that, he was done, and he fulfilled his promise. He literally brought him to my house. He,
Wow.
my family. We became friends, and we practiced, and then we hang out together. And, been knowing Michael Chambers for more.
How did you meet? How did you meet Paco? How did you meet Bruno?
Just through like some of the other dancers, because like Gerardo already knew him at the time when I first met him. So you end up being at the same parties or clubs, and you just end up meeting everybody. Like you, Sugar Pop, and everybody. So
Sure.
you wind up at the same club, so you get a chance to meet everybody. So,
Fantastic. Okay, so bring us up to speed. I know that you've done so much in your career. How did you get involved with the movie Colors?
Actually, I have Marvin to thank for that, because when I met Marvin, I met him at the Florentine Gardens. I don't know if you remember that
Oh
club,
my
but
gosh. I remember that place.
I was there, and Marvin approached me. We started talking. And he was asking me where I'm from, and he told me he was from Cincinnati, Ohio. And
Uh-huh.
he mentioned, because he liked the way that I was dancing, I was popping. So he was doing a
Right.
showcase at the Palace in Hollywood, right?
Oh, there you are.
He'd tell
There,
me, why don't you come down to the club and watch the showcase? Maybe we could get you in there someday. So,
uh-huh.
you meet all the other dancers. Got another, he said Spanish guy, but he was referring to Gerardo at the time. So,
Uh-huh.
so I went and saw the showcase. Really cool, a lot of great dancers. And then, I met everybody, after they did because after the showcase, it would just turn into a club, right? So we're just hanging out, dancing, having a good time. And that's when I met Gerardo and everybody. And then we became friends and started hanging out. And so after that, Gerardo was already doing like movies and stuff. He was already auditioning and doing movie stuff. So he eventually, when he got the movie Colors, um, there was a particular scene that he wanted to do some dancing, and then Marvin told me, "Hey, you'd be perfect for that gig." So ultimately, it worked out where the idea was pitched to the director, I believe, at the time, and said, "Hey, we'd like to do some street dancing in that house party."
Who is this girl? Who is this girl you're dancing with here?
That's actually me and Gerardo. That was right after we did Colors. We did a little
Okay.
showcase. Yes,
Yeah, because it's dark over here. Sorry.
yeah.
There you
So right
go.
there, we're doing it. That's at the Club Metro in Riverside, and Kiss FM was doing a live remote there, and so Hollywood Hamilton was a good friend of Gerardo. So after the movie, he said, "Why don't you guys come down and do a showcase?" So we went down there and did that, and this right here was back in the early '80s, or
Yeah, yeah.
mid to late '80s, right? That was like we did. Colors came out about '88, so around that time, right after we shot that movie. So.
Okay, so you did not even have to audition, right? You got
I
straight.
was at first I was just gonna be like an extra, but then after I did when I did that scene, and I was officially done. I had done my part, but the
Right.
assistant director came up to me and said, "Hey, what are you doing next week?" And I said, "Well, hopefully working on this film." He goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna need you for some more scenes." So I got,
Yeah.
I got to do a few more scenes in the movie and made a little bit more money. So,
Right.
now
Right.
that movie's a movie classic now after here, 30 years later. It was a great,
Right.
great.
Right. Right. Okay, so catch us up. After the movie, which direction did your career go? What did you do next, dancing wise?
So after we did Colors, Gerardo was already working on music at home. He was always rapping, and so he wanted to get a record deal someday, and just see kind of what happened. So what ended up
Yeah.
happening is he produced some music. He met some other folks that helped him out with some music.
Mhm.
He financed, and all it was, when he did Rico Suave, which was the big hit record in the '90s. That song was originally all in Spanish, and so
Wow.
when he got the deal through Interscope, and Interscope Records was just starting at that time with Ted Fields, Jimmy Iovine were
Uh-huh.
the owners at that time. So Gerard was one of the first acts signed to that label, and so
Hmm.
they said, "Well, they want to release Rico Suave, but it had to be they weren't going to put out an all Spanish song, but they liked the
Yeah.
song, so we had to do half English, half Spanish. So we had to reshoot the video and put in some other
Oh,
scenes. We did the stuff in LA, and he
uh-huh.
re-recorded the verses in English, and the album was done. So when he got the deal and it was time to go on tour, I got hired as one of the dancers, obviously.
Sweet. I know that was fun. Right?
Yeah, that was a great, great experience because I hadn't been on tour like that. It was a lot of work,
Yeah.
all the rehearsals and, doing the shows and all the travel you got to do. It's a
Yeah.
tremendous amount of work, but the performance, dancing for people, having fun,
Hmm.
you know, that's
And that's awesome. That's awesome. Now you were at the Palace Theater, correct?
Yeah, I did that before everything, like right after. That was between doing colors. We did the palace. So
Right.
my stint there was very short because it was coming to an end kind of at that time because all the
Mhm.
dancers were already, everybody was working now in the industry.
Yeah.
So that was one of the last ones to do kind of the last leg of the palace. And then they got rid of the showcase, but we just continued to go there to the club and support, the
Right.
clubs
Right.
there.
Wonderful
And
place. Good memories. I love that place so much. All
yeah,
right. So after the movie, what did you dive into next after the movie?
well, it was after the movie, go on tour with Gerardo with Rico Suave. We do that from 91 all the way. God, we toured with that one album probably 3-4 years. On and off
Woo!
after it hits, you're on a 6-8 month tour, and then after that we went over to Europe, and then we went over to South America, Central America, Mexico, his
Oh,
home country, which was Ecuador, and he was like Michael Jackson over there at the time. So
yeah.
the people were just fanatic over there. So we toured up in that, and then about 95, I was just I was done with traveling. I just didn't want to travel anymore.
Yeah, I can dig it.
The work, the getting up, and the airplanes every other day.
Yeah.
I just decided I didn't want to do that anymore. And then at the same time, he had just put out his second album, and it just didn't hit. So the shows were far and few between. So that means the money's far and few between. So I
Right.
decided
Right.
that I didn't travel and do that anymore. And I just decided, in terms of Hollywood, I
Yeah.
was pretty much done with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Can
Gonna
dig it.
just take a break and think about what I wanted to do next.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what happened next?
Well, I
Well,
decided that I wasn't going to do any more Hollywood per se, unless it was just something easy that I could do, without having to travel. It's just a partner movie or something, but
yeah.
nothing really came.
Yeah.
So I decided to go back to work and got back to the workforce. And
Mhm.
then after that, there was the new generation, dancers, and they were having their own events. And so I started to go to those events. And then when I got a chance to meet those promoters, they started asking me to come in and judge their event, do a showcase. And then
Mhm.
I spent 10 years at a place called Homeland in Long Beach, California, the community
Wow.
that has a program, a hip hop program. And I got in there through Iceman Rivera, who does the chaperoning there for the nights there. And
Mhm.
just a place where kids could come and practice, just hang out, down,
That.
DJ. And I spent all that time there working with kids. I mean, and I was just really hanging out. I wasn't really hired as a teacher, just to go there, just be around the music and the kids. And if
Right.
they wanted to learn something, I teach something.
Right.
And so
Be a
I did
good.
that for quite a few years.
That's beautiful. I love working with children, and that is fantastic. They need a place consistently for kids to go and dance and hear music. You know what I'm saying? And get their energy out. You know what I'm saying? Practice their moves. You know what I mean? It's good. It's good for them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And that's
a lot of
cool.
those a lot of those kids that started there, a lot of them went on to do movies as well. They did all the Step Up movies. They
Wow.
they went on, and now they're traveling. They're teaching. They're all grown up now. They're in their 30s now. Some
Yeah,
are
yeah,
married and have families now,
yeah.
and some are actually working and traveling and doing what they love, doing what we got a chance to do when we were young.
Right, right. And you know what? That's funny because like some of the students that I have children, and it's just I mean tripping. The little kids coming in crying because they don't want to take a class to now they're having babies. It's like a
Yep.
time movie, slow
I
but quickly.
now I'm seeing like the children of the guys that are my age, like for example, Sweepy Molina, he's another OG popper. His son now is dancing, and he's in his mid 20s now. He's in the circuit, so now you have that generation, you
Yeah,
doing
that
their thing,
must be
and
fantastic.
I'm
That must
sure there's
be
going to be a lot more
fantastic.
kids, others that are going to be
Yeah,
out dancing and doing their thing too. So So it's just
That's
been a great street dance has been so good to me. I just am enjoying, even now, just being around it, being around kids, being inspired by them because there's a lot of great dancers, all over the world now.
some of the kids nowadays. It's like what can't do. I mean, these little tiny tots are like doing
Oh,
things incredible.
yeah,
I
the
mean, just like you
yeah
can't
the
believe it.
stuff that I've seen
You know?
on YouTube or posts that I've seen on Facebook of these young kids, whether they're breakers, poppers, lockers, whackers, of all
Mhm.
styles, they're getting younger and younger, and they're amazing
Yes.
now. And
Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully they will continue that and maybe get a chance to do the things that we got a chance to do in terms of, getting into movies or videos or whatever their
Right.
goals. You know.
Right. Right. Now I have a question. I usually ask this question at the end, but since we're on the subject, what advice would you give to the younger generation because of the things you went through? I mean, what would your good word be to them?
Well, the first thing is to take care of your bodies because
Mhm.
as we got older, I mean, I thank God that I still have, good knees. I can still dance. Um,
Right.
taking care of yourself in terms of do not pollute your body with drugs and smoking and alcohol and those kind of
Right.
things because, in the end, you'll
Right.
pay the price.
Yes.
You may get away with it for a while, but ultimately it'll come and haunt you. So those are the first things that
Yeah.
I'll say to just take care of yourself. Make your
Yeah.
body as strong as you can. Give your body as much energy. Give your body what it needs so it could function optimally. All the time. So that's
Right.
my
Right.
first piece
Mhm.
of advice.
Yeah, I guess.
And then I would say,
Mhm. And no, it helps. Right. Right.
then
Later on, you're gonna feel
yeah, exactly.
basically.
And I wanted to have as the least amount of regrets as possible. So I've taken care of myself because I stayed away a lot from a lot of those things. So I did
That.
my body and here I am at the tender age of 60 and I feel great. And I
Right
think
on. Right
it's
there with you.
that's all I do with that. Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that would be
That's
my
fantastic. All right. So I was wondering if Stu or anyone had any other questions for Coco. Some things that I'm not touching base on. You got any questions for the Coco?
Hey,
Today?
what's up, OGs?
but
Lovely to see you guys here, FlexyStudio. Not really a question as much, but I just wanted to give a thank you. You might not expect what I'm going to say is that for your inspiration to lockers. Now, you're most known as a popper,
yeah.
and like there's times when I see you pop, and I'm like, that guy's definitely been to Japan. Like seriously, you must have influenced so much of the Japanese. But what you really influenced us out in the UK, in London in the 90s was your locking in colours. That clip that
Oh,
you did at the fireside with the chick.
right.
Because before YouTube, those little nuggets like us were gold. So I have to really take my hat off to you and say, sir, like the locking that
Okay.
you gave us there was fundamentals for us. So thank
Yeah.
you.
So let me tell you a story about my locking because my first love was popping. And so Greg Campbell Jr. from the Lockers is from Orange County, which where I'm from. And so I would always see him at these parties that his buddies would throw, and the Lockers would show up there and they do showcases, and I would go there. Marvin would go there. Everybody would get down and do a showcase. So Campbell Jr. approached me, said, "Hey, I'd like to learn how to pop from you." He goes, "And I'll make you a deal." He goes, "You teach me how to pop, and I'll teach you how to lock." I, I was like, "You deal, deal." So then So then he would come over to my house because I always practice late at night at my house. And I told him, look, I train late at night, when everybody's asleep. I'm out in the garage of my room and I just got my stereo on and I'm just dancing in the mirror. He's like,
Yeah.
that's cool. I'll come out. So sure enough, man, he was a man of his word. He came out, he
Oh,
basics of locking, and that's what you saw in colors. It was because of him. Man,
Oh, God bless his soul.
and he was an incredible influence to me. He was actually the one that gave me the best advice getting into show business because, of course, he worked in show business for decades,
yeah.
and he taught me just the basics to be professional, be on time, and do the job that you're hired to do.
Mm.
So
Beautiful. Thank you. What a lovely story. Really appreciate that. Thank you. But a question for you. I don't know if you know that there was a massive community of lockers and poppers in Detroit, and we have one of the OGs here, Johnny Techno, that we're bringing here of the Lockers Detroit. What's up, Johnny, my man?
Hello, sir. Hey, what's up, y'all? What's going on?
Hey, man. So, please introduce yourself. Tell OG Coco about Detroit.
Oh yeah. I'm Johnny Techno, an old school dancer here in Detroit. I just want to give you a thank you also, 'cause you've influenced us quite a bit here. I remember watching Colors and just kept rewinding that scene of you guys locking, just so I can get it down pat. You know, Detroit's kind of like a say again.
that scene was just an ad lib because the directors were like, they wanted me to do something, and I said, well, I haven't showcased my locking in the movie. I did my popping, but let me do my locking. So then I just decided, well, let me do just a little section piece there, a little wrist roll, a little point, and a lock, a little handshake, give yourself 5, and boom.
Look at you, you still got it too.
So,
That's what I like to see. Absolutely.
And again, when you do stuff like that, I never know, or some of us don't know, who you influence from where, who sees the movie. So here we are later, and then I find out about you and your crew and people that were influenced by just that little piece.
Absolutely. Yeah, Detroit had a very small following. We have a very small community of lockers. We're dedicated. We're up under OG Myron. He's a very old school locker. He's taught us quite a bit. We still get down here in Detroit. Like I said, under the influence of you guys over in Cali. Just to let you know, we're still here, man, and I thank you again, man, for your contributions to the art and what you've done. Definitely.
That's a lot, and that's that's the reason why I continue to work with anybody. When I have a lot of students internationally, and a lot of them come to US to learn, just to take a class, and then they're eager to pay me, but I tell them, no, keep your money, save your money. You're at my house. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't got to rent any space, so I'm not gonna. Just bring me a Subway sandwich. That's all I ask.
I love Subway.
Yeah. So, right. But again, that's my way of giving back to them, because a lot of them don't have a lot of money, so I'm not. I'll teach them the dance. Their payback will be their dance career.
Wow,
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I just like to give people their flowers while they're still here, man. We're losing dancers here and there, man. And
so I'd like to mention that because of what happened to Campbellock, him passing away, and now all of his friends have to tell his story. Well, I did my own documentary, on YouTube. For those that want to go out and check it out, it's Coco's Fantastic Voyage. It's a 5-part series, and it's on YouTube. Right. I posted it there for all to see, and it goes from the beginning, where it all started, and where I was doing up to that point at Homeland. And it gives my whole career and what I did, and how I got my name and those kind of things. So,
where can we find this again?
You can find it on my YouTube channel, CoCoPop 111, I believe. And then or you could just type in Coco's Fantastic Voyage.
Okay, great.
Up on YouTube, and it's a 4 or 5-part series.
Good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to know how you get your name, Coco. How did you get your name? Or do we have to watch them?
So when I was just starting out, we used to practice at one of our. We had this guy who's kind of like our manager of our crew, because we used to do these local shows like birthday parties, weddings, shows for the city in Orange County. And so we would go practice at his house. Him and his wife were just so gracious to allow these knuckleheads to come over and practice in their garage. So we were just in there one day, and I'm popping, and then one kid just yells at, "Hey, you're popping like CoCoPops, like the cereal, CoCoPops." Right? Then he says that, and then everybody starts saying, "Hey, that's going to be your name, CoCoPops." So then, there you go. That's how it came about. And
wow, that's what's up.
That's fantastic. Awesome. Tell us a little bit about your judging. What type of competitions are you judging now?
So there's an organization done by I can't remember his name, but the name of the event is it's Flavor of the Month and Flavor of the Year. It's these guys that are out of the valley. That it's Rock Swift and his brother. They do an event every month, and then at the end of the year they do like a yearly, competition. So they always have like popping, lock-in, hip hop battles, and it's one of the most, beside freestyle session that comes out here every year. It's probably the most consistent, popular event, for dancers here in LA and the Valley, because we're out of the Valley, and so his brother's named Devious. They're also dancers, so they host these events every month, and then at the end of the year, and they've been doing this for years now. So they do so much for their community. I wish other people would see what they're doing and then bring that same type of thing to their own cities, because it just gives more places to go, because there's really not a lot of places to go to here in LA for dancing, unless you're just going to organize, get together somewhere here or there. But there's not that many events. Like I mentioned, Freestyle Session, B-Boy Summit, those are the two big ones. But that's it. There's really not too many other events except for that Flavor of the Month. So, those guys just doing a great job with supporting the dance community, with the event.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, the Poppers picnic coming up this summer,
That's
correct?
One. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to make that, by the way.
Are you gonna?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna
excited.
take that one. It's been a while since I've been there.
Yeah.
Because I play a lot of softball on the weekends. So Saturdays he always has an event, and I'm always playing softball on the weekend.
If you go, I'll go. Now, what is this from, Stu?
Okay, so this
This is from Coco's Fantastic Voyage documentary. I just found it on the YouTube there, so I just pulled it up. If anyone wants to check out his full story, you can find it very easily. And like that's what I wanted to talk to you. Like Boogie, when I first met you, you showed up in them like S&M clackers there. Like that seems to be something that the OGs were the bracelets, man. What?
Yeah, we got that from the heavy metal rockers. When we used to see them wearing those studded belts and studded things, we saw those bracelets with those rings. They made a loud noise, so we when we're popping, it'll accentuate what we're doing.
Certainly did.
So,
yes, it did.
So I found a heavy metal shop near my house, and I went there and I bought some, and I even posted that photo that you liked, that you saw that, right?
That wave was nice and fluid. Yes.
Matter of fact,
I have a story too. Okay, so yes. Oh, that's it. Oh my God. Okay, so I have one, and guess who gave it?
Who?
Bruno gave it. Taco gave it.
Taco.
Really?
He said, "Here you go, Boogie." He goes, "This will help you when you hit. You'll be able to hear it, and then you'll hit harder." And it does work. Put it on.
I never thought of that. I never thought of that.
It's amazing.
You turn into a whole character. I mean, when you can hear it,
it's an indication that you're hidden. I never thought of that.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's exactly why
we some wristbands that actually make the noise, so kids can like play with it. That would be a great idea.
Here's one thing. I like to freak Boogie out about my hand wave. It's just like a
yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry,
have you ever
Boogie,
seen anything like that?
Yeah.
Oh God.
That's literally.
I'm sorry. My bad. I'll stop.
Yeah, you too. Okay.
Hey, dancers, we do what we do whenever. We're always ready.
Yeah. But those placards are fantastic, and I have one, and I cherish it. I will never get rid of it. I love it because when I put it on, I feel like that's my home. My homie's with me.
Second pair that I've had my entire life, because the first I had it eventually fell apart because the leather just got old. But I had for probably these for about, I don't know, maybe 5-8 years, something like that. So still in pretty good shape. So I hope these last me a while.
Yeah. There's so much
maybe go out and find one.
Yeah,
Man, good stuff. Good stuff.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we come back up to speed. You talking about judging. Are you doing anything futuristically? Can you foresee anything coming up for you in the future?
Right now I just do a lot of privates, private
Yeah.
lessons here at home. I don't know regarding any events on the horizon yet. I
Yeah.
just, when events come up and people contact me, so that's just kind of, I just play that by ear. And then every
Yeah.
once in a while, I get a chance to go out and work with the dance company and teach their kids, do a session with kids in the studio, stuff like that. But that's really the extent of what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
As I just relax and I'm back playing sports, doing the things that I did, before I did any dancing. But dancing has always, will be a part of my life in some aspect.
Ever.
Absolutely.
It's more gracefully than others, like because of the body movement, and the body all the time. I think that they age gracefully. Do you have any advice or suggestions for us older dancers, who, who are getting up there? Do you feel it?
It's the same advice. Take
Feel
care
it all the time.
because we, our joints and our bones, they hurt more than before. But we got to take better care of ourselves as well. When we get older, we can't stop.
Absolutely.
Young, when you get older, you've got to eat a balanced diet, not a perfect diet, but just a balance where you're getting the nutrients your body needs, you're getting your minerals, vitamins, and rest. If you don't rest, it'll wreak havoc on your body, and your body will not recover from injury.
Absolutely, absolutely. Good stuff. Good stuff, everybody.
Have some form of spiritual life. Have love in your heart. Be a forgiver of people, and you'll have a great life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Great to the Almighty. Thank you. That's beautiful stuff, Coco. And it's so good to see you. Stu, you got any more questions for Coco?
I mean, really, all I want to say is just another big thank you, sir, like for all that you've done and for coming and chatting with us and and just for keeping on. You're an inspiration. So big up yourself, sir.
I
keep it alive, bro.
Thank you for the kind words. And again, this is why we do it, because you just don't know who you influence and who you inspire.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your words of wisdom. Thank you so much. We will take it to heart and use those words. And hopefully we'll see you one day. I would love to be at the Popper's Picnic. That would be awesome. Put the baseball bat down and come hang out with your homies.
Yeah, I'm going to try on this next one.
Yeah. All right. Is that it for us too?
Johnny, you got anything to add?
I'm all set, man. I've learned a lot from him as it is, man. That's like I said, just thank you, man, for being an inspiration and for coming on and talking with us.
Yeah.
I'm trying to take care of my body and try to stay spiritual. I dance within my limitations now.
Exactly.
I can't flip and do splits like I used to.
Dance.
Yeah, well,
not recklessly, because that's when we get hurt, and then then it causes problems. So stay with yourself and do stay in control at all times.
Absolutely.
I love you, Coco.
You got beautiful energy, sir. Thank you so much for coming. And it's beautiful because all of the other guests that we've had on before, I'm sure you know well, like Gerardo, Alpha, or like so. It's all
you did with Jazzy and Terry. I watched that one because Jazzy, I grew up watching him. He's one of my favorite all-time dancers. But I spent a lot of time in the clubs with Jazzy, and we've watched each other get down.
He's phenomenal.
An amazing person, an amazing dancer, even to this day.
Yeah, he's teaching or doing something. He's got a flyer out, so he's still in the mix.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of stuff in New York. He's getting he keeps doing it. He's still active.
But his knees, I worry about his knees because that floor work he does.
Yeah, he's one of the very few though that can still do it, and I don't know how he does it, but I just be careful. That's all.
Yes. I know Don Campbell had like plenty surgeries with his knees doing that. So man,
So thank you so very much, brother. Love and peace, blessings to you. and spread the good word and keep that funk alive, baby.
And we would love to welcome you back on at some time in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah, man. 4th of July.
Anytime.
Love it.
Anytime.
So
Yes.
if we're gonna head out now. So Boogie, you wanna let us know who this podcast is brought to us by?
You buy Suave coffee, and you guys check that
Okay.
out. Also, Little Flame Designs in Las Vegas, Nevada. Check out her.
So we're out, everyone. So
Okay.
like, peace
All
and
right.
love. Like,
All right.
we
Peace.
there.
Bye.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay.
Much love. Brilliant. Good show, guys. Thank you.
All right, good show, definitely. I'll catch